Hello everyone, this is AC your Animal Companion here to bring you a beginner Orie guide. So I've written a text version of the beginner Orie guide, and this video is just meant to be a companion to that so that you can use this to kind of help you get through the guide and learn the character. The purpose of this guide is not to teach you everything about Under Night as a video game. It is to give you a quick introduction to Orie so you can spend a short little time in training mode and then jump right into matches. So let's get started. What kind of character is Orie? Well, Orie is a standard character, is how I describe her, and what I mean by that is she just wins by doing basic fighting game stuff. Running in and hitting your opponent, frame trapping them, outspacing them to get your hits, that sort of thing. She doesn't really have any sort of unique mechanics or gimmicks that you need to learn before you can play her. So, with that being said, what makes her unique? Well, what makes her unique is she's supposed to be a fencing character or a rapier character. She has this sword, a bunch of sword moves with excellent range, and she complements all of her great range with excellent movement. She has the fastest walk speed in the game. She really zooms. She has a great dash. She has really good effective range on her jumps. So every character has an assault, but Orie's effectively goes the whole screen because of her JC. Same thing with her jump. She also has a unique force function, which is a little flip. Additionally, to complement her long range, she has another set of specials that I'll call stand specials, where she summons this stand to do a move. This stand is like completely disjointed and really difficult for your opponent to interact with. So Orie wins by playing non-committally, making your opponent approach, and then punishing them for overextending. Now, why should you play Orie? Because this version of Orie is extremely good. I think this is probably the best version of Orie that she's ever had in Under Night, and she's very strong. She's got excellent pressure, excellent neutral. She has very good combos and very good routing in this version. Once you get good with her, pretty much every hit should lead to the corner. She gets great meterless corner carry. She gets great meterless side swaps. She has a lot of good cash out options, but she's not reliant on meter. She has very good defense, good mashing buttons, meterless DP, a horizontal reversal, and good air options. Really, the only weakness this character has this version is that she's not great at dealing with fireballs. Other than that, her matchup spread is very even. So let's hop into the combos. I have a section on just 5 beginner combos. I know 5 combos seems like a lot, but it's really not too bad. It's really like 3.5 combos, maybe 3 combos, because you are pretty much just learning how to convert every hit into the same combo. So we'll get started with what I'm calling the universal B&B. This is a combo that a version of this combo works from every starter that Orie has. So I'm going to start with Assault. This is a really bad starter, so you can only do really basic combo with it. And then I'll do the universal B&B. So that's the combo. What we're going to do is this starts it. After that, go to 5A, 5C, 4C. And after the 4C lands, you're going to do a DP, but you have to delay your ADP slightly. There are a couple ways to do this. One way is to just manually delay it until about the last moments that you can special cancel 4C. Another way you can do it is 4C, and then link the DP afterwards. Once you've got that down, you're going to pick up with 5A, 3B, 2 and 4B to hit them back down to the ground. Then after they get hit back down to the ground, 6-6C to pick them up, and then slam back down into the ground again, and then you get Ogie. Pretty simple combo. I've also included optimized versions for each combo below this for whenever you want to get a little bit sweatier, try some harder stuff. That just looks like this, instead of doing 5A, 3B, you'll do 3B, 5C. Jump cancel into your J2C, J2 and 4B, and then do the same dash C, 2 and 4B, enter. So that's a combo that works off of pretty much any hit you'll get. You can do 2 AAA. Let's do 4 2As. 4 of them. The combo always works. The damage is scaled, but the combo always works. So that's why I recommend everyone learn this combo. It also works at any position on the screen. Now let's go to a good starter combo. This is going to be stuff like B and C normals that once you hit them, you can go for something that is still easy but does a little bit more damage. You can see the first combo we did probably did like 2,800, and this one does 3,200. It's a lot more damage. And it's not very difficult either. You're going to do 2B, any like 2B, 5B, 5C, 2C, any of those, confirm to 4C, jump cancel to 4C, delay JB, JC, air A stand, and the same ender as before. So this is a nice thing to learn. Maybe if someone whiffs a DP in front of you. That's going to be your DP punish to start off. Next, this one's going to get a little bit complicated. This is going to be how Orie converts off of her long-range B normals. Because you see, this 4C, it whiffs. This 2C, it whiffs. So what we're going to have to do is do one of these moves into 2 and 4A. That move. The C follow-up, 2 and 4A, 4C. We're going to cancel that into 6FF. So that's BC. You're going to press forward and then BC after this. While you're in the air, you'll do JA, JB, land, do a 5B, and then go into your normal combo. Here's what it looks like. This one is definitely a little tricky, but you can get it if you just practice. Something that might mess you up is the 5B DP is definitely the most difficult part of the combo, but you do not have to rush on the DP. Take your time, input the 5B, just take just a moment, and then DP. You've got more time than you think you do. But grind it out and you'll get it. This fourth combo is what I've called the air hit confirm. I know that sounds really unintuitive, but there's going to be a lot of situations in this game where your opponent is in the air for some reason, and you don't know what to combo to do to hit them. So I'm going to do charged B thrust. That's B thrust and then hold it. And you see they get popped up in the air. And then I'm going to do this combo. 5A, 5C, DP into our normal ender. So that's the combo, and this works off of any hit that leaves them in the air. So, charge B thrust. C thrust does the same thing. You might have to dash, but it'll still work. Same thing if you do, change this. So FCS. There we go. It'll work off of that. And if they are jumping like this, works off of that too. Also in the corner, sometimes you'll get this hit that'll like wall bounce them. Works here too. Alright, so So those are going to be your main confirms, and I've also included ones for the infamous 6B, Orie standing overhead. This one's a little bit of the dark arts, so don't let it corrupt you, but it is an important move to learn how to use, and I wanted to learn the correct way to confirm it, the best way to confirm it. The best way to use 6B is doing 6B and do her B stand, 2 and 4B. That's a combo. And then you're going to do 2C, 4C into our regular B and B. Just like that. This is also safe on block. So if they block it, you just sit there. If they get hit, you get a full combo. These are going to be the only combos you need. I usually tell people, only learn these combos until you are taking sets in tournaments, until you're doing well in ranked, until you're doing well at locals. You do not need to learn any other combos until you get pretty comfortable with all the decision making in this game. After that, you can either look at the Orie's combo page on the wiki or this write-up that I'm going to do on her advanced B&Bs, and you can start looking for the more advanced stuff. Now let's get into some basic block strings. So how are we going to actually run offense in this video game? Well, this is going to be the basic frame trap block string that I recommend. Get close to them and do 5A, 5C, 2C, like this. So, and if this hits, what you're going to do is 5C, 2C. You wait to see if it hits, then 4C, and go into your B&B. For all of the combos that I put over there, you might recognize that you're always going to confirm with 4C. That's the purpose of this. Your goal is to only use 4C once you've actually confirmed that you've gotten a hit. Okay, so that's what you do if you get the hit. What do you do when it gets blocked? So, on block, this is an absolutely fine string. This 5A, 5C is a frame trap, so if you start doing a bunch of 5As in their face, the 5A, 5C will counter hit them if they try to mash on your 5A. I can show what that looks like. So she's gonna 5A after I do 5A, and it counter hits her. Get that? Easy confirm into the B&B. So if they just keep blocking, I say usually ending in either 2B or 5B, like either 2B, 5B, or just 5B, is pretty good. And you can either just do 5B and then nothing, or you can do an A thrust, A stand, that, all of that works, but also just no cancel. All those work. And this is going to be your basic frame trap block string, which is anytime you get a little bit of pressure and you're wanting to make sure that they don't mash, just go into this. And then you should be able to confirm into a hit. Now let's talk about some tiny bit more advanced block strings. We're going to do some stagger pressure. So Orie has two great A normals for doing stagger pressure. Now what I mean by that is whenever you do these two A's and these 5A's, you can either do them immediately or you can give them a little bit of delay. A little bit of delay is usually better because sometimes people will try to mash on it. And here's what that looks like. See that? If I do this, it's a true string. They can't mash even if they wanted to. But if you start getting good, go into training mode, delay your 2As and your 5As, and you can start catching them mashing. So what do you do if they are not mashing? Well, you can do 2A, 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 dash up 2A, and then if they keep respecting it and you really think they're just gonna block, you can do 2A, dash, delay, throw. Have to leave a pretty big gap here. You have to leave an 8-frame gap, but this is a great way to get them to respect your pressure. Just throw them a couple times. Now I've put in here for basic strike throw that I want to see 3 basic strike throw options, which is whenever they are respecting me, whenever I have plus frames, maybe I did an assault, maybe I did this, maybe I am on their wake up, and I want to do some sort of strike throw mix up, you're going to have 3 options. One of them is just run up throw. Gotta practice the timing so you get an actual tick throw. Another thing is run up, delay, assault. So you're point blank and then you assault. And if you do it correctly, let's see if I can do this. It should look something like this. Like that. Probably would be like a couple seconds later. Yeah, like. Yeah, that's what a throw bait looks like. And if you think they're just going to not even let you get that far and they're going to mash, then you do like this. And then run up 5A, 5C. Into your regular frame trap block string. So that is some basic strike throw. You know how to do a frame trap block string. You can confirm that into your B&B. You know how to do this and this with 4AA and 2AA. And if those hit, you can confirm those in your B&Bs. If they're blocking a lot, run up and throw them. And then you can even go for some basic throw baits and more frame traps. So what else do you need to know? I included a really good poke string. Sometimes you don't have all the time to run straight up into their face, and you can only get about this far, and then you want to still poke them and make sure they can't mash. A good string for that is 2B, 5B. Very core string for Orie, very strong string. If it hits, it's going to be a little bit of tricky confirm, but you can do it. There you go. And then if they block it, you're fine. So you can do a few different things here, but this is a good string to just kind of get used to doing, especially after a dash. And experiment with it a little bit. Now, you might be thinking, okay, we're learning about offense in this game. When do I get to use 6B? Answer is you can use 6B whenever you want, but just be careful with it. It is a move with a pretty, like, notoriously ambiguous animation. Like, the 6B looks pretty similar to her 4C2A. That means that it's going to catch a lot of people. Especially new players. But you don't want to rely on this move too much because better players will start blocking and they will punish you for it. Eventually, by leaving just like huge gaps in your pressure. So, if you're going to do it, do 6B, 2, and 4B. You can do it like after 5A, 5C, you can do it after 2A. You can do it on Okie, like just time and meaty 6B if you're really precise with it, but don't do it too much. I'd say if you're using it more than 2 to 3 times per game, you're probably using it too much. It really should not be an every single round thing, so just keep an eye on that. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, we've learned how to get these hits, what do I do for Okie? That is pretty simple. I'm going to do, first of all, Actually, yeah, this is fine. There we go. That is it. You run up. In this game, you just dash up after you do 2 and 4B. You wait for them to recover. You have to see their recovery animation because they can sometimes do a delayed tech, and if you try to do a 5A too early, it'll whiff, right? Because they did a slightly weird tech timing. That's why you want to run up to them, wait to see them getting up, and then meaty. And that's what you're going to do. And you either do that 5A or 2A into a frame trap block string or staggered block string. That's what you're going to do for Oki. Sometimes someone will wake up DP and do that here. Yeah. They tried to meaty, got DP'd. That'll happen. It's fine. Keep doing meaty 5A and 2A. I see so many new players lose because they are trying to do fancy stuff for Oki and trying to do fake stuff for Oki instead of just doing 5A, and your opponent is just going to mash on you. Meaty them. Meaty them every time. Unless you have a really, really strong read, meaty them every time. So, you've got the basics of how to play the character. You've got all your tools that you need to play her now, but a few of Orie's tools are a little strange to use, so I've put a couple pages in here, just things to practice. Like, keep these in mind, experiment with them, get used to using these tools. The first thing is her specials. So her stand moves are a little strange, just because you have to get used to using a long-range poke, and this is not -7, pretty negative on block, but then you threaten the follow-ups. That's a frame trap, or even a true string, but you can delay it. And then the 4B, that's the plus frame one. But you don't want to just do the plus frame one every time because they can just shield it, and even though you're +4, you're all the way out here, it's not super useful. So, my honest advice for this is just experiment with it, get used to using all the follow-ups, use them in different situations, and get comfortable with them. That's pretty much the same in 2 and 4B as well. This one is definitely trickier to use because it's slower, but it's still a good move. You can also do all of these follow-ups on whiff in neutral, which makes it obnoxious to try to approach Orie just doing this. But it's not infallible. These are laggy, these are slow. You can get hit out of these, so be careful with that. Next, we've got Divine Thrust. This is her most iconic move, probably one reason why you picked her. She's got A Thrust, which is fast and quick and very safe. B Thrust, which has a little bit longer range, is a little bit, like, has more recovery, can be more negative. And then she also has Charge B Thrust. It's the charge version where if she hits it, she gets a full combo, but it's got a lot of startup, and it goes pretty much full screen. My advice for learning how to use these moves is just use them as much as possible. You'll start getting a sense for the spacing for 2 through 6A, the A thrust. When will this hit? When will it whiff? When will this B thrust hit? If I do B thrust from here, am I going to get punished? You'll get used for that. This charge B thrust, every Orie just does this as often as like they can get away with, and that is fine. You will learn when and when not to use charge B thrust. Just try it out. These are all also fine use in block strings. They are fine use on defense if someone is walking back and you want to try to catch them. Thrust is great. Try it out. I would definitely not say that about Orie's next specials, her 2-2s. These are pretty narrow use cases. They're about 40 frame moves. Absolutely time for every opponent you'll face to react to them and hit you for it. So if she's anywhere close to her opponent, like right here, this is just unsafe. Unless you really have a read that they're not going to do anything, they're just going to block, they're just going to shield. it's pretty dangerous to throw out. Full screen, it can be okay, but it's also not even great then. I also do not recommend ever using 2-2 for Oki. Some Ories will be like, oh, I can't get a meaty from her throw, which is true. You're not getting a meaty from her throw mid-screen. There's just no, you're not even close to being able to. Like, oh, maybe I'll just use 2-2. This is honestly not very good. Don't do that. I don't ever recommend using 2-2 for Oki outside of some really specific setups. B-Thrust is another one that you also don't get Oki on all the time. If they back tech, that's fine. Just dash up and play some more neutral. You're great at neutral. So yeah, all of her stand specials, experiment with them, get used to using them. Thrust, experiment with it, just try it out. 2-2, be a little bit cautious with it. It's one that new players kind of let you get away with a lot, but it's not that useful of a move. Next thing to practice is using 2B and 5B. Mentioned this a little bit earlier, but these have great range, which is awesome, but that means I cannot convert to them with other normals. In order to convert off of them, I have to do this, or I have to do something like this, right? So that's going to take some effort, is learning how to use 2B and 5B. You want to say, to recognize a situation where I want to poke here, I want to use a B normal, so I'm going to use a B normal, then immediately buffer 2-4A, just be doing that, and then once you see that it hits, you hit confirm with 4C and 6FF. So I can try to do that here, like that. It's a little tricky. You can also use this 2B5B string that I mentioned earlier to help out, but it's gonna take some effort to learn how to abuse these normals. So keep an eye out on that. The last thing I have to practice is using Orie's force function. It's a little flip, but it's not like this move is fast. It's probably like 30 to 40 frames. Not really a great mix-up. It's useful because it can avoid a lot of stuff. So, but some things about it are unintuitive. So, one of the best things about it is, like, it's difficult to get an air normal to hit them in all these situations. Like, the timing can be weird, so the best way to use this is FF and then 2-4B. You can see that is very plus on block. I'm delaying the 2-4B until I'm falling close to the ground. Very plus on block. If they get hit, full combo. Drop the ender there. But you get a full combo on hit, and on block it is extremely plus at +9, +10, it can vary. But the trick with this is, even though you can sometimes flip over them and cross them up, you still always input this as 2-4, quarter circle backwards. So you might be thinking, okay, that's not too bad. Whenever I do FF, I always do it backwards. Which is true half the time, but there's other situations where you want to do something like this. And if you want to do that, I'm doing JC into J2-4A. This is a really good string. But you'll see that I'm actually having the JC turns Orie around. Like that. So in order to do the J2-4A, I have to remember that I've been turned around and input that as a quarter circle forward instead of a quarter circle back, you know, relative to the where I first started the flip. This is really annoying, but also it's just something you have to learn. That's why I'm saying keep this in mind early so you can start thinking about it and practicing it as you learn the character. Last thing I'll say is that all of your 2-4 moves, these are FF cancelable even on block. and meterlessly. So that means something like you want to go in with a dash C, they block it, okay? You can do that. Or you want to do something like this, oh no, they blocked my 6B. You can do that. Now, if they do, let's do crouching variable guard. This is an overhead, and it can hit them for a full combo. So try that out a little bit when you're using these on block, but don't get addicted to it. People look at this and say, ooh, I can just do a full frame trap string and keep going, right? And the truth is there's a lot of counterplay to that. It's not free. Use it sparingly, but practice using the tool. Alright, so that's going to do it for me. This is all the stuff that I've written up here for this Orie guide. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions about Orie, I recommend coming to the main Discord server for Uni and asking Orie chat. There's plenty of people, including myself there, always willing to answer questions. And once you're ready for some more advanced stuff, we should have some more advanced guides on the character out soon. Thanks for watching.